So, in the global race for AI dominance, there's a Chinese company that's, well, they're playing a whole different game. It's this really clever strategy they've cooked up to take on the big guys, even when the odds are totally stacked against them. Let's get into it. And this really gets to the core of the whole thing. Imagine you're in a high-stakes race, but you're banned from using the fastest engine. What do? Well, you can't just focus on raw power anymore. You've got to get crafty. You have to build smarter. And that, right there, is exactly what this is all about. All right, so let's start with the actual move they made. A Chinese AI startup just announced something that, honestly, seems a little weird at first glance. So this company, DeepSeek, just put out what they're calling an intermediate model. Now, this isn't their big, polished, final product that's meant to take over the world. Nope. Think of it more like a public preview, an in-between step on their way to the real next-generation AI. So what even is an intermediate model? Well, the easiest way to think about it is like a massive public beta test. You release a not quite finished version of your software to a ton of people. You let them use it, break it, find all the weird bugs, and then you take all that amazing real-world feedback and use it to make the final version so much better. But here's the thing. This is way more than just a simple product release. It's a really calculated strategic play. It's all about navigating a super tough competitive environment and figuring out how to turn what looks like a major weakness into a genuine advantage. Okay, so to really understand the strategy, we've got to understand the player. Let's talk about the company at the center of all this, DeepSeek. So, who is DeepSeek? Well, they're a relatively new company on the scene, but their ambition is anything but small. Their goal? To build AI that can compete directly with the giants. We're talking OpenAI, Google, the whole crew. They're also a big piece of China's national strategy to lead in AI, and they've already gotten a reputation for being scrappy, for doing some really impressive things with limited resources. And this is where we get to the heart of their challenge. I mean, look at this. On one side, you've got the US tech giants. They have basically unlimited money and access to all the best, most powerful AI hardware on the planet. And then you have DeepSeek. They're working with way fewer resources, and they're hit with US export controls that basically block them from getting those top-of-the-line AI chips. It's a totally uneven playing field. So think about it. If you can't get your hands on the best hardware, what do? You have no choice but to get a lot smarter with your software. DeepSeek can't just do what the big guys do and throw more and more computing power at a problem. They are forced to innovate, to focus on efficiency, and to design their models to squeeze every last drop of performance out of the hardware they do have access to. All right, so let's connect the dots here. How does this innovation by necessity thing tie into their smart, staged strategy? How do they use this public release to their advantage? Okay, so here's the playbook. Step 1, you release this model that's good, but you know it's not perfect. The whole point is to get it out there. Step 2, you let the public go wild with it, which generates a massive amount of real-world data and feedback. Then, step 3, you take all that info, find all the weaknesses and bugs, and refine your approach. And finally, step 4, you launch your real flagship model, which is now way more powerful because it's already been battle-tested by thousands of users. And honestly, this whole approach is pretty brilliant. Why? Well, for starters, it gets their name out there and starts building a community. It can even start making money to help pay for more research. But the biggest thing is that it keeps them in the conversation in a field that moves incredibly fast. And this isn't some brand new revolutionary idea. Think about it. OpenAI did basically the same thing. They gave us GPT 3.5, which was great, and then boom, they dropped the much, much more powerful GPT 4. So let's zoom out for a second. DeepSeek's strategy isn't just about one company trying to succeed. This is a single move in a much, much bigger chess game, a geopolitical rivalry over who's going to dominate the future of technology. Yeah, and this quote really nails it. Every time a company like DeepSeek manages to build a really competitive AI model, despite all the restrictions, it's a huge sign that China's push for self-sufficiency is actually working. And it makes you wonder, just how effective are these Western tech bans going to be in the long run? I mean, just look at the two ecosystems side by side. It's fascinating. The conditions are so different, so of course the strategies are different too. The US has this huge advantage with unlimited access to the best chips. China, on the other hand, leans heavily on direct government support and its absolutely massive population for data. You've got these two totally different starting points, and they're carving out two very different paths for how AI is going to evolve. So what's the end game here? What does all of this mean for the future of AI for all of us? Where is this all heading? Well, one really strong possibility is that the AI world could basically split in two. You could have these two parallel universes, one running on AI models built in the West and another running on models built in China. And that kind of fragmentation could impact everything, from whether your apps work across borders to how scientists around the world can even collaborate. Now, there's a positive spin on this, right? Competition is a powerful engine for innovation. This intense race could just push everybody to move faster, to build better, more powerful tools that could benefit all of us. But, and this is a big but, it also leaves us with a really critical question. Are we heading toward a future where we have these two separate AI worlds, operating with completely different rules for safety, for ethics, for control? And what are the risks if that happens? I mean, that's a question that goes way beyond just tech. It gets right to the heart of what our shared digital future is even going to look like.